Hi, my name is Tim. I'm the CEO and founder of Aqua-Link acrylic design products. This film marks the first in a series of demonstrations regarding the entire line of our products. Today we're here to demonstrate the installation, startup, and the adjustments of wet-dry trickle filters. I have collected some clear scrap acrylic to fabricate a 30-gallon aquarium specifically designed for demonstration purposes only. This aquarium includes a built-in pre-filter skimmer box to demonstrate multiple installation possibilities. We will begin by filling the aquarium. Okay, this filter that we have here is an Aqua-Link 2010. It's a 2000 series. It's the smallest of 4 different sizes that we have. Okay, this will handle up to a 70-gallon aquarium for a max reef or a fish tank or whatever you like. Most of our models do not have a bulkhead, but if it's requested at the time of purchase, we can actually drill it out and put a bulkhead in an additional feed. So you want to make sure that you place this down underneath the aquarium where you have plenty of room. If there are any peripherals that you need to add in later, and Aqua-Link series has lots of peripherals you can put in for whatever level aquarist you want or to cut down your maintenance. This model here has a heater chamber built into the bottom where you can place a submersible heater. Once you have the filter set in a position where you want, we're going to set this up. The bulkhead that we talked about earlier is used for an external magnetic drive pump. If you're not going to use an external magnetic drive pump, you can use a submersible pump, and we happen to have a pump here today that we're going to use and show this as a submersible setup. You want to start by adding your first tray. Now this tray on the bottom is for aerobic bacteria to flourish. So you can use any type of biomedia down there that would deplete the oxygen and provide a bed for that bacteria in order to grow. But for ease of showing what we're doing today, we're going to put this foam filter pad in. And if you get some sort of a foam filter pad, it's very important that you make sure that it's not treated with some sort of germicide, because that will actually kill the bacteria that you're trying to promote. So be real sure that whoever you buy your foam from is getting non-germicidal treated foam. We're going to place that foam filter pad in the bottom here, and it fits pretty snug. Then you're going to put your second filter tray in. Okay? This is where we're going to put our biomedia. The type of biomedia we're using today is called DLS. It stands for double layer spiral. Okay? We're going to get into a whole segment about different types of biomedia. You can use anything from packing peanuts to hair curlers, little toy soldiers, lava rock, dolomite, all different types of material, bio balls, just as long as it's not toxic. But the general principle here is to make sure that you have a biomedia that provides a large surface area for that bacteria to flourish on. The old style undergravel filters that were in the bottom of the tanks would only provide approximately 3 to 4 square feet of surface area to grow bacteria. So it's a 2-step process here, not just one. We need an area of bacteria to grow that needs oxygen that will be raised above the water level. We need a type of bacteria that will grow that's depleted of oxygen. That will stay submersed below. After you get whatever type of biomedia that you choose that's good, in this case here we're using a floss material that's separated by a very rigid material. It's called Inca mat. Once you get this thing in place, we'll want to push it down inside of the aquarium. Okay? The next thing we provide here is we have a lid that's easily accessible for the sump that fits inside. Okay? Now one of the things we do is once we put this sump lid into place, we have a little rubber grommet here, and this little tube is an airline tube, and it's sharpened on one end so you can push it inside of the biomedia, because we're going to use that to inject air in. You simply place that in and give it a twisting motion as you go in. You also notice that there are some cuts in the sump lid here to allow you access for other peripherals and for your electric lines and your pump lines to go in. This line here we are going to connect to an air pump later in order to inject air through the sump lid inside of the biomedia. Now this sump lid is removable, so you can take it out at any time, but it also cuts down on evaporation by keeping the lid covered up. Any evaporation that you're going to see in an aquarium is going to be shown inside the filter. It's going to develop down here. You will always maintain a constant level in the aquarium itself. We're going to take this lid with the spray bar in this case. It has a little friction washer inside of it that holds it in place, and as the water goes down it causes it to move. And it'll spray over top of the biomedia. So now that we have the filter in place, we have the lid in place, and take our drain hose here. We're going to hook that up to the filter unit below. I'm going to get a little water, no problem. This is a pressure type fitting. Squeeze that on there, and we're going to hook that up to the filter system itself. That way as the water flows down, it's going to flow into the filter system and cause that little propeller in there to turn. I'm going to put this drip plate aside. We'll show how that operates later. Now that we have the filter system set up for the drain end of it, we want to have some sort of a return line that's going to take the water after it drains down from the filter into the sump and through. The water is going to come down underneath and pass through all the biomedias and then pass through this little section here. There's a little retaining wall there that we're going to go over in a minute that holds a submersible heater. One of the things that you're going to need, and we're hooking this up this way, we decided not to go with an external pump. We wanted to use an internal pump, a submersible model. And this happens to be an Aquarium Systems MaxiJet 1,000 liter per hour pump. It's a small pump, doesn't generate a whole lot of heat, sticks in the sump real well and does a great job. That's why I chose this one. Okay, what you're going to do is we're going to use suction cups on the bottom of it, so we'll insert those suction cups on the bottom. This will help hold it down inside of the filter so it doesn't slide around. The good thing about this sump lid system here is there's added peripherals that you can put on there, like pre-filters. We have cutouts in here for them for water being pumped out, drained back in. That way you do not have to have a protein skimmer that's sitting inside of the sump. You can actually put it on the outside. We have several different models available, and we're going to go over those later in another segment. But for right now, we're just going to take this pump and we're going to hook up a hose. Use some sort of a vinyl hose, 5/8, ½ inch inside diameter. And we're going to hook that hose up. And we're going to make sure that we use some sort of a clamp to hold it on, because we definitely don't want water spewing all over the place. Okay, so make sure you got a tight fit. Pull your sump up, open it up. And we're going to have a return line and an electrical line coming back out. So we're going to put this little baby right there. And this hose and this line, electrical line, will both go out that one little cutout that's in the side of the sump here. So now you have access to still get into the sump, but your pump's there as well. You have a large sump area, so you can put almost any size pump in there. But we want to make sure that the pump will stay submersed. So once we have this pump in line, have it in place, we're going to hook the other end of the line up over top of the aquarium. The thing that's good about the Aqua-Link filter systems is you can take, and there are suction cups that you can put on, and actually put the heater down in below, and it's raised up on the suction cups, and as the water passes through, it's more efficient because all the water, you're probably turning the tank aquarium water 3.5 times per hour is recommended. 3.5 times an hour that water is passing past that heater, so you can use a lower wattage heater to cut down on electricity consumption. But you want to make sure that you fill this sump up when everything's off. After you have your aquarium water at a level you want it there, and you know that it's going to raise probably another ½ inch to 3/4 inch in the aquarium, we want to fill this up as close to the top as possible. The evaporation will show up in the filter and it'll go up and down. So it's very important that we follow these steps. And we're going to plug in the aquarium pump to get this running. You notice the water level is starting to go down below the biomedia. Now you see the spray bar is just beginning to work. We might want to use a little bit more powerful of a pump here, or take it a little bit of time to get that thing moving until it's primed properly. But if you notice, it has like a spraying effect. It sprays that water over the biomedia, and it's continuous instead of dripping in one area. This is why we like that spray bar method better than the drip plate. This filter system here is designed for a 70-gallon filter. It's hooked up to a 30-gallon tank at this time. Now, one of the things you want to do after you get this settled, you want to make sure that you mark a water level here with a magic marker, or in this case we have a little sticker. It says maximum running water level. We're going to put that little sticker right here, now that we know where it's running, right at that water level. The reason why you want to have this sticker here is because in case the water or the electricity ever shuts off due to a power failure or things of that sort, or maybe your pump might burn up or something, about a ½ inch of water is going to drain off of that tank. So if we filled this up while it was running and then the power fails, this filter is going to overflow and you're going to wind up with a flooding problem on the floor. So it's very important that you follow this procedure. Now the spray bar seems to be moving a little bit better here, but if we choose to make that run a little bit faster, we can actually spin the spray bars to get it to move a little bit faster, which I'm going to attempt here. We're going to turn these up a little bit, try to get it to move a little bit faster. As an adjustment. There, now we got it moving better. Okay, now we have the filter set up. Everything's stabilizing. We have the water level marked down. And one of the most important things that you want to make sure you do is the nitrification chamber needs to have plenty of oxygen. You notice up in the tops of the lids here, we have holes for even gas exchange. We also have that in the drip plate. This also has an overflow tube, so if it builds up, it has a way to overflow back into the main chamber. We're going to install an air pump. I happen to have an old Whisper 800 air pump here. It's probably a bit overkill for what we need. But again, one of the things that's most often overlooked by a lot of manufacturers is the fact that you need the oxygen in here. And remember, we had the air injection into it to begin with. So we're using a regular air line. Probably a real small economical air pump will do. You don't need anything strong here. We just need to get air to go through. So you basically just hook that line up, tuck it away nice and neat, plug it in, turn her on. Now we have air pumping inside of it's just regular room air, but it's oxygen nonetheless. Oxygen that it needs. If this was sealed up, we wouldn't have any way of getting oxygen in there. I don't like to see floss filter pads on top covering that up, because if you do that with a drip tray or a drip drawer and you have that floss covering it up in there, you're prohibiting that exchange of air going into the system and escaping through the air vents. So there you have it. Our filter's hooked up, it's running. We're going to give some sort of a culture on this. We actually have cultures available on our website that you can purchase. They're freeze-dried bacteria cultures that you can use to jumpstart your aquarium. You get your test kit and start watching your nitrification and your process with your ammonia levels. But for now, that's it. If you got any questions, please visit our website at aqualinkadp.com.